Hey, it's DBJ, and this is a kind of a video response to the Nerdarchy group and their the Dungeon Master's Guide review of traps. And this isn't really a something to create conflict, but it's just an idea that I had, and it's a little too hard to like post it as like a comment or something. Also, this relates to an old video that Mark Williams posted a long time ago about escalation. I'll try to put both links below if I remember to do so. I apologize if I don't. And if any of those people from either of those two groups, Mark Williams or the Nerdarchy group, just remind me. But anyway, I'm going to get to the point of what they mentioned in the video, and that they said that traps have a very low DC rating. I think it was Dave or something was saying like, hey guys, like a DC 10 to notice, a tripwire or a pressure plate or something like that, like it's too low because the player characters will, even at first level, there are multiple ways to get a better than 50-50 chance to notice something. And that even passive perception, you get a 10, so that means you automatically get it on the passive perception. I don't take issue with it per se. I do feel that it is easy to notice, and I think it's been done on purpose. And here's why. First of all, you guys know I hate the save versus death. Like there's something about, like, as a game master, just putting an impediment into the game. The players don't know it's coming, and you're just like, hey, roll this. If you miss it, you're going to take so much massive damage, your character's just dead. Or your character will die. Or, hey, you haven't done anything to warrant it, but I'm going to make you roll a die and just do wandering damage. And I think that sucks. I think the reason for having a low DC difficulty class for discovering it is because traps aren't meant to be, this is weird to say, traps aren't meant to be traps. Traps are meant to be puzzles. And you want players to be able to figure out a puzzle, not just get annihilated by traps. And yes, it's fun to watch people, get chopped in half by scythes, and everybody loves the Saw movies, except for the person going through it. You know what I mean? So I think the idea of being player characters having an easy time noticing some of the lower to medium level traps is okay. But I think it brings up a larger issue of utilizing escalation. And this is why I bring up Mark Williams' thing about how, in the Lord of the Rings, first Lord of the Rings movie, Fellowship, they're running through Mordor and they come to these steps. For some reason, there's always these high-ass steps with no handrails, and they're broken apart, and he does an excellent description of describing the escalation game master wise of that entire event. And one of the things that kind of bothers me a little bit about it's just a little bit about Dungeons and Dragons is they put a lot of effort into combat, and they put a lot of things to throw in for social interaction. But as far as exploration, it's the exploring the dungeon, exploring the environment, coming across obstacles and hazards and conflicts and environment. I personally feel many games are lacking in that. And so I would say that one of the main rules you can go by as a game master, where you don't want to kill your players off, but you do want to throw in traps. You do want to throw in impediments, flooding rooms and cold weather and collapsing stairs and all those kind of things, is use the rule of escalation. Andrew Wood has a great video about how he hates traps, but instead of just springing a trap, foreshadow the event. So, for example, players come in, they come into a room, there's a skeleton draped across with, it's been there for, I don't know, 50 years, 100 years, and he's draped across a chest. Well, maybe that's a hint that there's a trap there. The players come into the dungeon, and they come across a pit, and when they look into the pit, there's various skeletons in the bottom of the spiked pit. And then they move on later on, and they see a spiked pit that's opened up, and it looks like someone used an old brittle rope. It's got knots in it. It looks like some people climbed out of it, and you see there's dried blood down there, but this is many, many years ago. Okay, so now you've already hinted. Okay, guess what, guys? There's spike pits available, or there's spike pits ahead. And, of course, you're like, well, damn, I might as well just tell the players where all the spike pits are at. Well, nah, yes and no. What you're doing is you're setting up a thing where, okay, the players aren't just going to wander down it. They're like, okay, walk, walk, walk. What's the next room? No, we got to figure our way across this. Hey, guess what, guys? Found another spike pit. Should we activate it? I don't know. Should we jump across it? Maybe. Let's figure out a way to get across it. Hey, let's tie a rope around each other. You get all these things, and then what you do is you escalate the situation. So maybe 3 orc scouts come down the hallway, and they see you there. Okay, well, your back is now up against this spiked pit that has not activated. Does anyone fall into it? Do you trick the orcs to fall into it? Maybe the orcs know it's there, but they don't want to fall. Somebody, the monk trips an orc and knocks him into the spiked pit. So now you have this idea, now there's an orc down in the spiked pit screaming, and someone's like, hey, put an arrow in that dude. He's causing too much noise. And then you go past that spiked pit and you move on to another room, and so on and so forth. You have all these things where you're using the environment. You start to escalate the danger, because in the beginning you make the danger simple. Here, guys, as a game master, yes, it's a little metagamey, but you say, okay, here, this is the idea. There's going to be danger. Let's say they're going to like Icewind Dale or something like that. Here, make a DC 10 save against the cold. Okay, well, easy enough. All right, roll some dice. All right. Well, guys, hey, the longer you're out here, the colder it's going to get. I mean, you really need to make your way to the next village. Like, yeah, but we need to search for a, party member or something. We're following where this amulet is leading us. Okay. I'm just telling you that, your supplies are running low. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, make a DC 12 save. Really? Okay. Hey, there's a winter wolves on the outskirts and a yeti or something. Man, we got to run. We got to try to find some shelter. Hey, where's the ranger at? Hey, I'm going to try to make a roll to find shelter. Okay, make a DC 15 save, guys. 15? Oh, man, we've been out in the cold this long. I knew we should have done something else. Well, let's start a fire. Hey, well, the fire might draw in the attention of these winter wolves. No, I think the fire will hold them back. You get this interaction. When in doubt, just role play it out and create the escalation. And as the game master, you've already set up a situation where you're like, hey, okay, here's the problem, guys. Here, you're going to have to deal with it. I am letting you know that periodically this will get harder. I am letting you know that if you don't solve this situation, you don't come up with a unique way around it, this is what's going to happen. Could some players find an easy way through it? Hey, well, my cleric blesses everyone, so they get pluses on their saving throws. Cool, sweet. All right, great. Let's keep going. Cleric's like, well, I cast an aid spell to give them more hit points or something. Cool, great. All right, it's temporary, but all right, we're still going. We're still going. Ranger, you know what? We're going to run out of food soon. I'd like us to find shelter so I can go hunting. Great. Guess what? You, as a game master, you're like, good. I'm glad somebody thought about that. You know what? You really need to do that. And even as a game master, metagaming, you can even say, all right, guys, you're getting low on resources. Ranger, you can survive out here on your own, but you got a party of 3 other people you got to feed. I'm letting you know now that you're going to get real close on your rations, and you're somebody who would keep track of that. You know what? Yeah, you're right. I wasn't even thinking about that, but yeah, my ranger would know about that, wouldn't he? Yeah, he sure would. All right, hey guys, you guys hole up, and the rogue is going to come with me, and we're going to go out searching for food while you guys rest here. I mean, the mage needs to get his spells back. Cleric needs to pray a little bit, so that's what we're going to do. You sure you guys want to split up? I mean, it's a dangerous area. Yeah, you know what? We're going to do that. And oh, by the way, I'm going to set up tripwires around the camp and have cans or something like that attached to them so that it makes noise. Okay, you're setting that up? All right, you won't even have to make a roll. If somebody trips it, they'll hear it. Cool. Start role-playing it out. Come up with great ideas. The environment has an effect on it. Even when they go into dungeons, you can have, they find the gray ooze. They find the things, from the ceiling. They find the traps. They have to climb over debris. They go past, they try to climb up steps that start to collapse or something. Well, should we go upstairs? The stairs collapsed on us. Yeah, well, you almost got hurt by it. You made your saving throw, but you almost got hurt. But you know what? Maybe we should really climb up there. Okay, I'm going to hoist the dwarf up there, and he's going to pull the rest of us up because he's the strongest one. Those things create storylines and create environments. And so I feel like maybe we may lose something on the exploration end of things as opposed to the social and the combat part. So my feeling is about the new Dungeon Master's Guide, sitting right here. Deep cut to the Dungeon Master and the DMG. Yeah, are the traps easy? Yes, I think it's done that way on purpose, so that you don't have analysis paralysis where player characters are doing nothing but doing 10-foot square searches for traps with a 10-foot pole, all that kind of stuff. But I also think it's a way for players to engage in the environment, for the game master to have opportunity to escalate things so that they are not instantly killing characters, but they're giving an opportunity to fight back, to learn, for the player group to bond together, and just to become better role players, and for everybody to learn from it. The game master can learn, can always learn something new because players come up with great ideas, and then don't punish them for coming up with a great idea. You know what? I didn't even think about that. As a game master, you're thinking, I'm gonna give them to them. That's a good success. You've got it. So anyway, DBJ, a little bit of a rant, a little bit of a video response. As always, create, don't destroy.